chat after he left the mound, quite frankly, in a fury in St. Louis. And then the next day, they had a long meeting, and I think a lot of fences were mended.
Well, I think the main thing is Ryan's just going to have to pitch better, and I know he wants to stay out there, and he wants to be able to work deep into games. But at the same time, Don Wakamatsu was looking at that game and the way he was throwing, decided it was time for him to go, and he is the manager after all. He'll decide.
So here's Orlando Cabrera to lead it off. The Reds leave here and head down to the Bay Area, and they'll take on the Oakland Athletics on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, while the Mariners are taking on Lupinell and the Cubs. And a strike, the first pitch of the afternoon from Ryan Rowland-Smith to Orlando Cabrera. And a nice delivery. 58 degrees at game time with the roof on. The winds are calm today. Back and out of play. The Mariners, if they could win today, would accomplish a couple of things. Number one, they would go over 500 at home this year, and they would get to 500 in interleague play. Too high, overthrown, a ball and 2 strikes. They are 5-6 against the National League, 17-17 at home. And he got him on a breaking ball.
We'll take a look at the last pitch after a number of fastballs to get ahead of Cabrera. Throws him a nice breaking ball right at his back foot. Cabrera swings over the top of it, but it's all set up by a good fastball from Rowland-Smith early in the count.
The Reds in the first 2 games of this series have come out very aggressively. Last night in particular against Felix Hernandez, first ball swinging. And this man likes to swing at first pitch fastballs. Let's see what Brandon Phillips does here. That fastball and kind of tucked over the outside corner by Elizer Alfonso, but they didn't get the call. So the count 1-0 on Brandon Phillips, who's played some outstanding second base also in this series. The Mariners, by winning the first 2 games of this series, have knocked the Reds a game and a half back of the St. Louis Cardinals in the Central Division. To Hopper, hit to Josh, and he will throw him out. So 2 down. By the way, before the ball game, the Mariners announcing that Jack Wilson has returned from his rehab, and Matt Tuiasosopo has been optioned to Tacoma. Be interesting to see how Jack Wilson gets back in the lineup, to tell you the truth.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Don Wakamatsu manages that situation, with Jack Wilson being the veteran guy, the guy that they had planned on bringing into play every day. But as we all know, through the struggles of the Mariners offensively, Josh Wilson has really done a nice job and has worked back into the middle of the lineup for this club. So it's going to be interesting to watch Don manage that situation.
1-1 on Joey Votto. Now the count evens at a ball and a strike. The Reds, 83 home runs, and they have not hit a long ball in this series. The Mariners have only had 40 this year. And a breaking ball, towering pop-up on the left side. And right there calling is Josh to make the catch. And a fine first inning for Ryan Rowland-Smith. 3 up and 3 down. Good to have you with us. Happy Dad's Day. To the bottom of the first, no score.
Third again, then is Lopez Guerrero. Josh Wilson hitting 6th. Carp, the first baseman, hit 7th. Alfonso, and then Saunders, who had the long home run yesterday, will hit 9th. Take a look at the numbers for Harang. He has struggled this year at times. You see his ERA over 5, 81 innings pitched. He doesn't walk a lot of batters, just 21 walks for him. He has given up 12 home runs. Opponents average 303.
So here's Ichiro to step in, and weighing on the grass is Scott Rowland at third base. And Ichiro, first ball swinging, sends a towering high fly ball. Just didn't miss it into right center field. One down.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Harang this afternoon. In the outfield will be Heisey, Stubbs, and Bruce in right. Across the infield, Roland, Cabrera, Phillips, Votto plays first. And doing the catching will be Corky Miller.
Aaron Harang, now 32 years of age, 6'7", 261 pounds. Strike to Figgy. That's on the outside corner. I think the Reds have seen enough of the Mariners to last them for a while. The Mariners have beaten them 7 out of 8 meetings in interleague play. Here's Dusty Baker. He's a great fan of the Seattle area. He comes up here a lot during the offseason fishing. He keeps the toothpick people in business. 2-2 the count. Man with the cleanest teeth in baseball. But he doesn't have one in his mouth right now.
No. 17 seasons as a manager.
A great manager. Look out. Jammed him that time. May be playable. And it is. Played by Scott Rowland. Milton Bradley. His stride now. The 5 runs by the Mariners yesterday. Most runs they'd scored since the 1st of the month in 18 days. And that fastball for a strike.
And Dave, you mentioned the size of Harang at 6'7". Not an overpowering pitcher. Those fastball be anywhere from 88, 91 miles an hour. You can see him trying to throw the fastball inside and run it back on the inside corner on Milton.
And came right after him with that same pitch right on the inside corner. That on the miss. Bradley's gone. Mariners are gone. After what? No score. Started off here in the second inning against Ryan Rowland-Smith. Speaking of home runs, that's been one of his banes. He's given up 13 long balls this year. So you got two pitchers who give up a lot of long balls.
You do, and you have a lineup in the Reds that has hit a lot of them, as you mentioned, over 80 home runs for them. And Rowland really having a nice first half of the season for the Reds. 14 home runs for him so far. And that's why at the start of this thing, you just knew that Ryan Rowland-Smith, to be effective, was going to have to keep the ball down. And he's had a nice first inning. I like the pace that he's working at. He usually works quick.
What's wrong with that pitch? I guess it was inside.
Angel Campos, the home plate umpire, found something wrong with it.
2-2. Piece of hitting there. That ball wasn't a bad pitch at all. It was down, but Scott Rowland just rifles it into left field.
Well, take a look at the swing by Rowland. Ball down and away from him. Hits it hard past Josh Wilson. Get the first hit of the ball game.
And this is Johnny Gomes, who is the designated hitter this afternoon. On the outside corner, 0-1. Lou Piniella brings his Cubs in beginning Tuesday night. Cubs beginning play today, 8 games back of the Cardinals. Change up and a high pop up. And Franklin Gutierrez will have no problem with that. So one away. Major League Baseball and People magazine are recognizing individuals who've made a difference in their community. You go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent the Mariners and be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim on the 13th of July on Fox. Hurry, because voting ends today. Jay Bruce, left-handed batting right fielder, takes down low, ball 1. Same spot. And foul at the play. Arizona lost to Detroit today 3-1. And we only bring that up for one reason, because yesterday the Diamondbacks snapped a 14-game road losing streak at Comerica Park in Detroit. Cost Rick Porcello his job. He was sent down today. And that's fouled back and out of play. But Arizona, again, a loser today. That's a lot of games to lose in a row on the road. Line shot, base hit to right field. Rounding second, heading for third. They got a shot at third. Ichiro So was almost cut off, however. It was offline a little bit. It nicked the glove of the shortstop, Wilson. They let that ball go through. It must have to be offline.
Well, you take a look at the swing by Bruce on the base hit. Ichiro comes up throwing, and you'll see shortstops do this a lot. They fake the cutoff to keep the runner, which would have been Bruce, who had the hit. It's just a fake, and he pulled his glove back a little too late and just got a piece of it. He wasn't happy about it. That's a mistake by Josh. He wanted to let that ball go through, and you see shortstops, they do that all the time. And the reason why they do it is they want the other runner, who was Bruce, who had the base hit, they want to keep him from going to the next base.
Right. I think that, had it been online, it was hard to tell from here. That would have been a mighty close play.
It would have been a close play. It was aggressive base running by Rolen. It looked like a pretty good throw from Ichiro.
Drew Stubbs is the hitter. Taking high, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Roland Smith needs a double play ball here in the worst way, I think. Or an out some way. Ground ball down the third baseline to help his psyche more than anything else.
And I like the last pitch that he threw. Threw another changeup. Didn't give in to him just because it was a 2-0 count. Trying to get that ground ball that you're talking about, Dave, with the changeup.
The fastball at the knees.
On the inside corner. Perfect pitch. Take a look at the tracer. Right there.
A little low.
When you talk about his psyche, Dave, I think that's kind of been the issue, the big inning from him. And pitchers are always going to get in a little bit of trouble at some point in the game, maybe a couple of different times, and can they work their way out of it? And that's what Ryan's going to have to try to do here.
And a high towering pop-up. That should not get the run in. Drifting into foul territory, leaning still in fair territory, the second baseman Figgins. So a huge second out. In today's game, we are participating in the home run challenge. Today, every home run in this game raises $20,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE, 2873, or go online to www.pcf.org. Coming into today, 92 home runs have raised $1.8 million, and we thank you. Chris Heise is the hitter, and he takes down low ball one. Nice changeup. Got a dangerous changeup, though.
He's going to have to get that pitch down. He's been able to get away with a couple of high changeups so far. When you're throwing to a club that likes to hit the home run, this is where a lot of their offense comes. You need to get that pitch down.
Good pitch right there.
Much better location on the last one. Even if he hits it, it's going to be on the ground. You have a chance to get an out and get out of the inning.
Fastball foul back. A ball and 2 strikes. And a ground ball, one hopper hits a second. Figgy has it, throws him out, and hey, mate, that's some pretty fancy pitching. That's some money pitching this time by Ryan Roland Smith. He leaves 2 out there on the bases. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score. Rang misses high. No. We should be getting some reports later on in this game from Tacoma, where Doug Pfister is scheduled to throw between 40 and 50 pitches in a start this afternoon. And then if everything goes fine, he'll get a start next weekend in Milwaukee. And the Mariners have really missed Doug Pfister.
Well, they have. And now that Ian Snell, looks like he'll be in Tacoma and French has been set out, they really need him to get back into the rotation. But I think more importantly, they need him in the rotation healthy and feeling good about himself. So hopefully things will go well for him today.
Ian Snell has cleared waivers, thus he will be in Tacoma. He has accepted the assignment to Tacoma. Full count. And down the right field line it goes, and a nice charging, sliding catch out there by Jay Bruce.
Take a look at Bruce as he's coming in, the left-handed right fielder. Nice sliding catch.
And Franklin Gutierrez will be the hitter. Strike to him. Right slider that time. And a foul back. Remember July 20th, 1969?
Nothing comes to mind right away.
When I mention what happened on that date, I bet you can tell me exactly where you were.
Okay.
And that pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Neil Armstrong. Step foot up on the moon. Remember where you were?
I'm sure that I was in a little brick house and lot in Oklahoma, watching it as a 4 or 5-year-old at that time.
1-2 pitch is swung on, and a high towering pop-up hit into right field. And Drew Stubbs makes a catch out there. Rumors are that Neil Armstrong is here this afternoon. Let's check in with Angie. And the fastball is high to Josh Wilson, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
Where were you? What were you doing?
I was in Southern California. I was at home watching it on television. 1 ball and 1 strike. Seemed to me like it was fairly early in the morning. One and 2. And a towering high fly ball should be the final out, and it will be into center field. So 3 up and 3 down here for the Mariners in the second inning. As we go to the third, no score. TNT trivia question, and I think most of you know, was first celebrated in Spokane. Our question is, how many years have passed since the first celebration as the pitch is fouled back by Corky Miller, the catcher, 0-1? Has it been 50 years, 75? Has it been a century? Has it been 100 years or 125 years since the first Father's Day was celebrated? And a fly ball to right. Ichiro drifts back, and he's on the warning track to make the catch. Be pure speculation and a guess by me.
Me too.
100 years.
100 years.
What do you think?
I think 75.
Okay. Orlando Cabrera is the hitter. He struck out, leading off the ball game. And that's a fly ball to left field. That's a play for Michael Saunders.
The only reason why is that I think that if it was 100 years on the button, probably would have heard a little more about it today, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you got a point there, yeah. Got a point there that might have been a bit more celebratory today. Brandon Phillips is the hitter. No. Two balls, no strikes. Cubs will be here Tuesday. Jason Vargas against Ryan Dempster. That'll be a great matchup. Reno on Phillips. The league gets a call on Wednesday, and Felix on Thursday afternoon. 4-pitch walk to Brandon Phillips. And the first one issued by Ryan Roland Smith. So there are the matchups. How about Mr. Silva? Mr. Silva is going to pitch against Felix on Thursday.
It's interesting the way things work out sometimes, isn't it? Well, the Texas Rangers have put a nice little streak together. They've won 7 in a row, but they're in jeopardy right now, bottom of the 8th. At Houston, they're losing 4-3.
I'm not sure the Astros have beaten them this year, have they? And they strike on the outside corner to Votto. 0-2 the count. All of a sudden, the Mariners 5 back of the Oakland Athletics, as they've been on kind of a free fall. Too high, 1-2.
Well, we were in Texas looking at their schedule. They were only going to play one team with a 500 record or better going into the All-Star break, which was, of course, the Angels. Ryan throws over to first. And they've taken advantage of it by winning 7 in a row and working their way out into first place in the West, stretching things out a little bit. 2.5 game lead on the Angels.
And they're getting picked up. Throw back down to shortstop and back to first base. He's in the hot box, and finally he is going to be tagged out. So Brandon Phillips is picked off by Ryan Roland Smith. Here in the third inning, it ends up being a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Happy Father's Day. There's four. We'll give you the scoring in a second as Mike Karp is taking the first pitch high and outside and fouls the next pitch back and out of play. 1-3-6, 3-4-3 on the pickoff of Brandon Phillips. 1-3-6, 3-4-3. Karp fouls the pitch back and the count of ball and 2 strikes. By the way, Casey Kotzman gets in this game, and there's reason to think that in the latter stages, if they need a defensive change, he will get in the game and does not make an error. He will establish a new major league record for consecutive games played without an error. 239. And the 1-year anniversary of his last error is tomorrow. And I'll guarantee you something. He's not going to make an error tomorrow.
I would agree with you on that.
Karp hits a high pop out of play off the third base side. The Mariners are off tomorrow. Back in business Tuesday night. Count. And he walked him. Some of the leadoff base, some balls here. Well, the trivia question was, what anniversary of this is of Father's Day? 54% of you said 100-year anniversary. And the answer is, congratulations. First celebrated in Spokane 100 years ago. Sonora Dodd spearheaded the effort to create Father's Day. President Wilson spoke in Spokane in 1916 during the city celebration that year. Congress resisted Wilson's attempt to make it an official holiday. But President Johnson issued first proclamation is a swing and a miss by Eliezer Alfonso. The first proclamation that designated the third Sunday in June, and then President Nixon signed it into law in 1972. Eliezer loves to swing at that first pitch. And he just did, and takes the next pitch down low, so the count of ball on the strike. Doesn't get cheated.
No surprise, Harang going back to his breaking ball. Alfonso likes to hit the fastball. As David mentioned, he likes to hit it early in counts. So once Harang was able to go to a strike, he's going to some off-speed pitches.
Outside. Harang got kind of that 70s look. He got those long side moves.
You like those?
Yeah.
Did you have him in the 70s?
No.
No.
That's a fair ball. What a throw down to second in time by Scott Rowland, and a great pick on the short hop by Brandon Phillips.
Well, it's a nice play by Rowland over the backhand side. You can see him in foul territory. Momentum going the other way. That's all arm strength. And the tough part is this right here. Phillips getting control of the ball and keeping his foot on the base. A lot of times in a ball like that, you'll see the second baseman, the foot will come off the bag. But Phillips did a really nice job of keeping his foot down and getting control of the baseball before Cart could slide into second.
Well, here's the hero of last night's piece, Michael Saunders, who hit that 3-run home run. And he takes down low. On the first pitch to him in the 6th inning.
And no surprise to see the Reds already made a couple of nice plays. Bruce in right field, a sliding catch, and then that play by Rowland and Phillips on the infield. They are second in the National League in fielding. So along with hitting a lot of home runs, they can catch it.
Two and one. Rang's fastball popped up behind the plate. And leaning back to make the catch, Marky Miller. So 2 down. Ichiro jumping on the first pitch in the first inning and just missed it. Hitting a fly ball in the right center field. Starts him off with a straight change. Soichiro swings at the first pitch 16% of the time. It's a higher one.
I would say swing at the first pitch, it's probably above the average.
It's outside.
And it's, I think it's a little bit unusual because a lot of leadoff hitters typically to start the game will take a lot of pitches. So for him to swing at the first pitch in this game to start the game off is a little unusual, but we know that about him. He's an aggressive swinger, likes to swing the bat, is not going to take a lot of pitches.
Sharply hit ground ball to right to second. And an easy play out there for Brandon Phillips to get the force on Alfonso. So after 3, we got a dandy and a pitcher's duel, no score.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan Roland Smith. Well, faced Joey Votto. He was at the plate when Phillips got caught in a rundown to end the 3rd inning. Happy Father's Day, big
Happy
fella.
Father's Day.
I know you enjoyed
Nice
it the
to see
last
Jared
couple.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, good to have him, a big guy here. And happy Father's Day to all the guys out there. Enjoy it today, to say the least. And hopefully bring you a Mariners win here today. 3 in a row, not bad.
No, not bad at all. And Ryan Roland Smith off to a good start through the first 3 innings. Had to work out a little bit of trouble in the second, but made a couple of really nice pitches to get out of that. So Ryan, so far, nice catch by Saunders out in left field. But really, that's what you wanted to see out of him, just to continue it. You started, he had Vargas in St. Louis, he had the off day, and then, of course, with Lee and Hernandez, something really special with those 2 guys. So it's nice to see Ryan pitching well early.
And he's due. He wants a win so badly. It's consuming him. He hasn't won a game since last October 3rd. And I've looked up in some of the numbers. He's had 5 no decisions as a starter, and twice he's left with the lead.
Well, unfortunate in those situations, but he clearly has had to pitch better, too.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's going down that road to where he's going to start pitching better. I know that I like the fact that Don Wakamatsu has continued to talk about Ryan as being a big part of this rotation. And if you're going to have him out there, you have to show confidence. And even when he's struggled, and Don has done a nice job of that, and Rick Adair, of course, the pitching coach, has certainly worked with Ryan a lot. But so far, I like what I see out of him.
And he hits Rowland. Scott Rowland is aboard. So 1 down here in the 4th for Cincinnati. Man aboard. Reminder that the Chicago Cubs, they're making their first return to Safeco Field in nearly a decade. 3-game series with Lou Piniella and the Cubbies begins Tuesday and concludes Thursday with a special 12:40 start time. It's always special when the Cubs come to town. You betcha. So for tickets, visit Mariners.com. Great looking families out here enjoying Father's Day. Here's Johnny Gomes. Let me throw one at you. Ran this by Riz earlier. Does Gomes remind you of anybody of recent vintage who was a pretty good hitter? And I'll give you a clue. National League West. The way he moves, the way he attacks.
National League West.
Hit a few home runs in his day. Up high. 2-0 to Johnny Gomes. I'll narrow it down. Rocky Mountains. Or number 10 outfielder Dante Bichette.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm watching this guy. Said it's making me nuts. And his whole approach.
I was actually going a little bit further back. The first thing that popped into my mind was Brian Downing from the Angels.
Yeah.
You know, big, strong guy, aggressive swingers.
Not going to cheat themselves at all. 2-1. Drive to left center field for Gutierrez. 2 down.
Hey, you look at this lineup and watching the guys, even Corky Miller, the number 9 hitter, took Ichiro all the way to the track. They're all turning it loose, and that's, you know, a big reason why they have over 80 home runs as a team. Very aggressive.
Tell you what, it's as impressive an array of offensive numbers as I've seen all year.
Their ballpark will help you with that too.
As Junior used to call it that was a full bathroom apartment. And they said Philly was half a bath. Because they hit 3-4 balls against Cliff Lee on Friday night that would have left the yard. Thank goodness it was here. So here's the fewest home runs hit in the major leagues thus far. Safeco right there. Big ballparks. Bouncing ball, Carter taking himself. And with the exception of the hit batter, that's a doggone good inning for Ryan Holland. Smith still scoreless in Seattle. Thank you, Angie. And I watched a lot of your home country in that match today. New Zealand played a heck of a game. It was a lot of fun watching that. I watched about half of that ball game. The Italians were really stymied. Figgins, Bradley, Lopez here in the home fourth. Like the way Figgins has been swinging the bat. 3 for 4 last night. There's his hot zone.
The Amica hot zone. That last pitch was right there at that 364, and he fouled it back.
.302 clip over his last 27 games. He's gone from 190 to 235. So he's worked a full count here, leading off the 4th. Mariners looking for their first hit. One hopper backhanded, and misplayed by Phillips. It was hit hard. Let's see. The official score is going to rule. Official score Dan Peterson today.
I think I would rule this a base hit. The ball is hit hard. It's a line drive in between. Backhanded play by Phillips as he goes through his knees, goes to his knees, and can't come up with it.
And indeed it is a base hit. So first hit for the Mariners. Here's Milton Bradley. Struck out his first time.
See if Figgins wants to test Corky Miller, the catcher for the Reds. Put the game in motion. Try to make something happen offensively.
Trying to get going. He struck out 6 times over his last 4 games. But he is a happy guy with his Lakers having won the championship the other night. So Harang 2-1 to Milton Bradley. Aaron knocked around this last time out against the Dodgers. Got it for 5 runs, 7 hits, and 4 1/3 innings. To right field, coming on is Bruce. Got a lot of speed in this outfield, and getting back safely is Figgins. All 3 of those young men out there run very well. Heisey, Stubbs, and Bruce. Mariners and the Chicago Cubs, they wrap up their highly anticipated interleague series this Thursday. It's a special 12:40 start time. Come on out to Safeco Field early because the first 20,000 fans take home a Mariners rally towel thanks to Amway. For tickets to see the Mariners and the Cubs, visit mariners.com. Jose Lopez hit a drive to right that Bruce made a nice sliding catch to get him in the 2nd inning. This is home game number 35. It's the 18th time the roof has been closed. Gives you an idea of the kind of weather we've had here in the Pacific Northwest during home games. Swing and a miss. 18 times in 35 games. We're due for a nice little run here of sun at home at some point. Mike Flowers' estimated time of sun arrival about July 6th.
About time we get off the next road trip. In good shape.
Next road trip takes us to Milwaukee, New York, and Detroit. That next homestand is July 5. So you're about right. The Kansas Cities will be here, followed by the Yankees for 4. Lopez keeps the at-bat alive with Figgins at first, 1 down here in the 4th. Figgins back safely. Aaron Harang and Ryan Rowland-Smith throwing up a bunch of zeros here today. It's a ball, 2-2.
A little bit surprised that Figgins hasn't taken off yet.
He's had a good year base running, 14 out of 18.
He's usually aggressive too. He likes when he's going to go, he'll go early.
Corky Miller going out to chat with his pitcher, Aaron Harang. Aaron, born in San Diego, still lives there. Came over from Oakland. Right-hander Joe Valentine and right-hander Jeff Rutledge. Jose Guillen back in July of '03.
Well, it's Texas Rangers trying to keep their 7-game winning streak alive. They were losing and they scored a run at the top of the 9th inning at Houston to tie the game up 4-4.
They're on a hot streak. 2-2, one out, Figgins aboard. Seven in a row for Texas, won 9 of their last 10. 2.5-game lead atop of the Angels starting today.
Well, I would think on this 3-2 pitch with 1 out, Figgins will take off here.
Figgins goes. Hit
Nice.
Through the hole. Figgins will get third easily. Building a nice inning here in the 4th. Base hit, Jose Lopez. Runners at the corners. First base hit that gets through the infield.
Nice piece of hitting by Lopez. A little inside out swing pitch in the middle of the plate, but it's down and slaps it into the hole. With Figgins running, that's an easy 1st to 3rd situation now for the Mariners. Looks like the Reds will keep their defense back, play for the double play.
Yeah, this has got base hits in his last 3 ball games, 3 for 12. Big opportunity here to get on the board. No runs, 2 hits. Reds, no runs, 2 hits. Mariners. In there for a strike, 1-1. Mariners going for the sweep of the Cincinnati Reds, who start today, 1.5 back. NL Central behind St. Louis. Cardinals lost today, 3-2 at home to the Oakland Athletics. Popped up, taking a look is Joey Votto. It's out of play.
Franklin not happy with himself. He had a pitch out over the plate that he could hit in the air, so that if he were to make it out, hopefully get a sacrifice fly and get the Mariners on the scoreboard. He missed that pitch.
Similar situation last night. Nice job by Rob Johnson. 1 out, runner at third. He got a sac fly in the 6th, and Michael Saunders followed with a 3-run homer. And it was Johnson that gave the Mariners a 2-1 lead. 1-2. There's a line drive, center field. Stubbs is there. Sets. Here's the throw. It's cut off by Phillips. Run scores in the sacrifice fly by Gutierrez. And it's 1-0 Mariners for Gutierrez's 29th RBI.
Well, let's take a look at Franklin Gutierrez in this swing. Hit the ball out to center field. Pitch up in the zone. That's what he wants. Stays in the middle of the diamond. Another thing that you want to do with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. But well done for Franklin.
Back-to-back games. Mariners pick up a run via the sac fly. 0-1 to Josh Wilson. Jack Wilson back in town, back on the roster a couple hours ago, activated, coming off of multiple leg injuries. Can't say enough about the job that Josh Wilson has done, particularly at the plate, where he's been a very reliable hitter during these last 3-4 weeks. There's a strike in inside corner. Ball with 2 strikes. It's going to get out of play. An infield hit by Figgins. Lopez base hit gets in the third. Sacrifice fly. Gutierrez gets the Mariners on the board 1-0. Trying to get their 4th consecutive win. Jason Vargas with the 2-1 win at St. Louis. Cliff Lee the 1-0 win over the Reds here in the opener of this series, and then Felix Hernandez 5-1 last night. Line drive, base hit left field. Lopez play in front of him. He'll stop. Slam on a break. So does Josh Wilson, the trail runner. So runners at first and second here for the Mariners with 2 outs.
Looks like Josh gets an off-speed pitch. You take a look at it, it's a big breaking ball. Hits it off the end of the bat. A soft line drive out in the left field. I thought Lopez was going to try to get to third. I'm glad he didn't. It would have been a tough play, and with 2 outs, you don't want to make the last out there.
Chance here from Mike Carp. Had an 8-pitch at bat, worked a walk. First time up. Carp 0 for his last 9, trying to get something generated here. The 0-1 pitch. Count evens at 1. Orang very deliberate, as we've seen so many pitchers recently. The guy gets on base and the game stops. 1-1.
Good changeup, just below the knees.
Ball with 2 strikes. Carp has fouled a lot of pitches straight back in these last few games he's played.
He's had some aggressive swings. That's the part of it that I like. When he's going to take a rip at it, he will. He'll turn it loose.
Two out, 2 on for Carp. 1-2 the count. So 2. We saw one of the Mariner young guns, Michael Saunders, go deep last night. Big home run for him. First pitch swinging. Hit one off the visitlasvegas.com sign. 2-2 to Carp. Changeup hit to left field. Backs up Heisey. He's there and makes the catch. But in the inning, the Mariners pick up a run on 3 hits. They leave a couple. It's 1-0 Mariners. Here at Safeco Field, bottom third of the order for Cincinnati to face Ryan Rowland-Smith, who has a 1-0 lead thanks to the Franklin Gutierrez 4th inning sacrifice fly. Did not go, says John Hirschbeck down at first. This is Drew Stubbs, the center fielder, followed by Chris Heisey and Corky Miller. Ryan Rowland-Smith's problems this year when he's gone into bumpy road territory, the ball has been up. When he can keep the ball down, he's as effective as anybody. The 1-1. Driven to the gap, right center field. Ichiro giving chase, going back. He is there on the track to make the catch. Check in with Angie again. All right, Angie, thank you very much. We continue here in the 5th inning. Chris Heisey. There's a look at the NL Central. St. Louis 7-5 in head-to-head competition against Cincinnati. The Cubbies, they're disappointed. 7 games under 500, 7 games off the pace. Ball on a strike to Heisey. Grounded out to second base his first time up. He played in Friday night's game and went 1 for 4. He struck out 3 times. Did not go again. 2-1.
We're talking about Ryan Rowland-Smith getting the ball up, Dave. A lot of times you can look at stats and they don't always tell you the true story, but I think in Ryan's case they clearly do. The walk total for him and the 13 home runs has been the issue, and it's because the ball has been up out of. So today he's done a much better job. He's gotten away with a couple of changeups, especially early in the game, that he left up. But for the most part, I think his fastball, he's done a nice job of keeping it down and throwing strikes.
Full count now. So Heisey. Today Ryan has struck out 1 and walked 1. So you look at his profile to this point. Carp's going to take a look. He'll run out of room. Rowland-Smith entering today 55 2/3 innings, 23 walks, 23 strikeouts, 13 home runs, as you pointed out. 50 runs, 41 of them earned. That's why his ERA up at 6.63. This one's played. Carp going back. And he makes a catch. Two outs here in the 5th inning. Treat yourself to an all-star experience at Safeco Field's All-Star Club. Fantastic food, first-class service, and one of the most exciting ways to watch a Mariners game. From the all-inclusive buffet to the great seat locations, you're going to love everything about the All-Star Club. For tickets, call 206-346-4001 during business hours or visit mariners.com/all-star-club. Catcher Corky Miller from the South Asceno lookalike club. Solid journeyman catcher, good guy, been around the majors for a while. I believe last year was his last year, or his final year. I believe he's managing somewhere. Very body type, big mustache, just like South Asceno. Four-pitch walk. Second walk issued by Ryan Rowland-Smith. Now top of the order, Orlando Cabrera. This guy's bounced around, but been a winning player everywhere he's been. 2004 helped the Red Sox. It was a late season, mid-season acquisition. Helped win their first World Series since 1918. Alfonso going out to speak now with Ryan Roland Smith after ball one.
And it's been 5 straight balls for Ryan. All of a sudden the plate's moving around on him a little bit, so Alfonso go out and try to get him back in the strike zone, being more aggressive as he has been throughout this game. 70 pitches for Ryan.
Another day out for the Mariners. Cubbies come in for 3. And back on the road again for these Mariners. 1-0 the count. Hammered down the line. Foul. The good news, you come out to Safeco Field, you're going to see the dynamic duo, Cliff Lee and Felix Hernandez. Cliff's going to face off against Randy Wells. And Carlos Silva, the former Mariner, will go against Felix Hernandez. It's coming up on Thursday. Off the end of the bat. Figgins handles it. A lot of spin on that one. Not a problem. It's a little bit of a hiccup there for Mr. Roland Smith. Nothing across in the 5th inning. A 1-0 Mariner lead. For you, or good for him, I should say. Congratulations, 1-0 Mariners. I hope you did a good job. I hope you enjoyed it too. Here's Alfonso, followed by Saunders and Ichiro.
Grapes in bed. Doesn't sound too bad.
Not bad at all.
I got it. Can you turn that light off and don't slam the door on the way out?
Yeah. Nothing like that old 6:30. Hey, Dad, how are you? Fine. Alfonso reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. High fly ball, left field. Heisey backing up. Got room and makes the catch. One out in the 5th. Saunders really impressed me last night. They had been pounding him with first pitch strikes and especially fastballs last couple of games. third time up last night against Sam LeClure. A run in, 2 on. Got a pitch up and just hammered it. 4th home run. Popped it up. Foul. Strike 1.
That was interesting. If he would have kept that fair, even though it was popped in the air, I bet he ends up with a base hit.
Long strider gets down the line.
Yeah. First baseman Votto playing deep.
Straightaway not too deep. You see the alignment for Saunders. Tell you what, Harang has had a nice changeup this afternoon. 0-2. They're my old sideburns from 1971. Gotta love it. 1-2. Strike 3 called. He came inside on him. Got a piece of the plate. Second out. Here in the 5th. That's the second strikeout for Harang. The Out to Lunch Summer Concert Series brings free live music to downtown visitors and workers every Wednesday and Friday from noon to 1:30. Check out Hey Marse at Harbor Steps this Friday. Find the complete concert schedule at downtownseattle.com. And up here in the background, that's where you'll get your music here in Seattle. That is a big system that's hovering over this great city. Temperatures in the high 50s. Here's Ichiro, 3rd at bat. He's 0 for 2. Ichiro got a home run last night. 2-1 pitch, 3rd inning. Low liner into the lower stands in right field. Ichiro's 3rd of the year.
After Ichiro swung at the first pitch fastball his first time up, made an out with it. Harang has gone with that changeup that you were talking about and breaking balls in the dirt. It's been interesting in this interleague play, Dave. I think you were actually the first one to notice it in San Diego, but we saw the same thing in St. Louis, and now with the Reds, the left fielders, that we always see those guys playing by the line and shallow. Then all the National League clubs are playing them straight away.
Yeah, American League guys know. Like the Angels, yeah, I'm sitting right here because I know what you're going to do.
Oh.
The Angels, the A's, the Rangers, they bring that left fielder over to the line and in. Take your center field and move them over about a third.
And in.
And in, right.
Yeah. The National League clubs have not been doing that. He just about hit that one out of Miller's glove.
Honest to goodness, I marvel at that. Every day you see, what, 5 or 6 of those? Mentioned it to Marty Brenneman, the Reds Hall of Fame announcer. I said somewhere Richie Ashburn's smiling. He says, "You got that right."
Well, I mean, you know, this is what we see all the time with Ichiro, and a pitcher pitch count and the amount of pitches that Ichiro sees isn't because of his patience. It's because he fouls off so many pitches. You know, 7 pitches, and this will be the 8th pitch he's going to see. There's only been 1 ball thrown, but he ends up making pitchers work just because he fouls off so many pitches.
That's remarkable. Took that one right down the middle. So Harang pitches a 1-2-3 5th. And it's on the inside corner, says Angel Campos. The Mariners and Ichiro are gone. 1-0 Seattle. Defensive attack of the Cincinnati Reds. Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, Scott Rowland here in the 6th. Phillips 0 for 1 with a walk. Fly ball right field for Ichiro. One down here in 6th. Take a look at our Quest High Speed pitch brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet. Both boys in the low 90s. Aaron Harang and Ryan Roland Smith. Harang 5 and 6. His record of 5.44 ERA. And Roland Smith 0 and 6 with a 6.63. Fouls one off. Both these pitchers really hungry for a win. We talked about Roland Smith. Same for Harang. He's 0-3 in his last 4 starts. There's Father's Day crowd on hand. 32,712. Drew well this weekend, 26,000 and change last night, and then the bobblehead night 2 nights ago, 43,362. 2-1 to count.
Well, I think here is where Don Wakamatsu is going to watch him closely. Here in the 6th inning, it's not his pitch count. He's only at 76 pitches, but it's where he's at in the order and how tight this game is. Nice pitch. Really nice breaking ball from Ryan.
Joey Votto, 14 home runs, 43 runs batted in.
14 home runs for Scott Rowland, who was on deck.
Votto fouled that breaking ball off this time. Will stay 2-2. Only run in the ball game. 1 out sacrifice fly. Gutierrez in the 4th. There's Scott Rowland. Goody picking up his 29th RBI. Full count. Roland Smith's walked 2, struck out 1. Three-two pitch. Breaking ball missed. Shook off Alfonso. Couldn't snap one over. Cincinnati has a 1-out base runner here in the 6th. There's Scott Rowland, the 3rd baseman. 0 for 4 last night. And 1 for 4 on Friday. Johnny Gomes on deck. Ryan got out of a 1st and 3rd situation in the 2nd inning. Popped up Stubbs and grounded out Heisey. This one's out of play.
So far, Ryan has done a nice job, like you mentioned, pitching out of an issue in the 2nd. But you look at his pitch count, Dave, at 82 pitches, his splits still aren't where you want him to be. Even though his pitch count's really not that bad, pitching here in the 6th, and he hasn't given up a run with just the 2 hits.
Got a ball and a strike to Scott Rowland. 2-1.
I think some of that has to do with the Reds and how aggressive they are as an offense. They'll expand the strike zone, swing at some pitches.
We'll look out.
It's a good changeup. Hit it right off the end of the bat and split it.
2-2 to Roland.
Baseball have a nice cut in the leather. Kind of like when you're hitting that wedge on your golf ball. Just open it wide open and blade it.
Yeah.
Mr. Smiley.
Sam Rollins had a nice career. Philly, St. Louis, Toronto, now Cincinnati. Very important batter right here. Can't get it. That thing had some hook on it and just eluded Josh Wilson. 2 on now.
This is how he hit a base hit in the second inning. Same thing, just kind of reaches out there and hooks it over into the hole. Josh just out of the reach of Josh Wilson. Nice effort.
This is as big a pickle as he was in the second inning. He had runners at first and third with 1 out. He's got first and second.
This is a little bit, yeah, and this is concerning because Gomes has done a really nice job of hitting with men in scoring position this year.
Their team numbers are ridiculous. #1 in Major League Baseball. 315 runners in scoring position.
Gomes is upwards of 450 himself.
Oof.
49 RBIs for him on the year.
To bring some strikes in there, they have got to be quality strikes. The 1-0. Got him to chase 1-1.
Another good changeup. There you go. Runners in scoring position. 451 for Gomes.
Popped up Alfonso. Oh!
Just on the other side of the net. We'll take another look at it. He knows he's going to be close. Runs out of room.
Michael Saunders popped up to Corky Miller in the third inning, and ball came back to him by about the margin that one missed. 1-2. High fly ball left field. Saunders towards the line. Got room. Makes the catch. Big out. 2 down here in the 6th. What do you know? Brought to you by Radio Shack. Rob Johnson, he became the first Mariners catcher to start behind the plate in consecutive complete game victories since Dave Valley did it April 21st and 22nd, 1993. Thank Val for sitting in the last couple of nights while Mike had some time off. Heck of a distinction. That's going back. Jay Bruce 1 for 2. Mariners nursed a 2-1 lead in the Vargas game Wednesday in St. Louis. Held on to win a 1-0 Cliff Lee game. That was on Friday.
I think it's interesting that you take a look at the numbers so far. 5 2/3, 3 hits. The 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Nobody up in the Mariners' pen yet. As you mentioned, the complete games, pen certainly rested, ready to go.
Yeah, walks it. Brandon Lee came in. Hey, can I get some work here this weekend? Huh? What do you think?
Well, 91 pitches now for Ryan. I think it's after his last outing in St. Louis when he took him out of the game early. I think he's just really showing a lot of confidence in him right now. As Alfonso take another trip out to the mound and talk to him there on this 2-0 pitch with 2 outs.
Ryan's last outing Tuesday in St. Louis. 4 innings of 7 hit, 3-run ball, a walk, and a strikeout. Gave up a home run, 59 pitches. He's behind Jay Bruce 2-0. Votto at second, rolling at first. Fouled that one off, 2-1. Trying to get out of a sticky situation here. 2-1, 2 out, 2 on. Here's a throw down, and Wilson's there. It's Alfonso. Fired one down, second base. 3-1 the count. On deck hitter, Drew Stubbs. 3-1 pitch to Jay Bruce. In there for a big strike 2. Full count. Runners will be on the move. Nolan Smith, 1 strikeout, 3 walks today. Giving up 3 hits.
Outfielders are going to have to do everything to cut a ball off till they hit one in the gap, because Roland, because he gets the head start. Nice hit.
Struck him out. A big strikeout for Ryan Roland Smith. He's got 6 in the books. He's got a 3-hit shutout working. Picks up his 2nd strikeout. Yeah, baby. Figure Angie 0-2 now to Sean Figgins, leading off the 6th. He's 4 for 10 in the homestand. 1 for 2 today. Scored on the Gutierrez sac fly in the 4th. Only run of the ball game. Harang looking good with that pitch. Changeup. That's his 4th strikeout. One down here in 6th. It's Texas Rangers. That's 8 in a row. 10 of the last 11. Gives them 41 wins.
Hamilton is one of those guys, when he gets hot, he can carry your club for a couple of months.
Cubbies turned the tables on the Angels today, a 12-1 victory. So Texas now with a 3.5 game lead on the Angels. Here's Milton Bradley.
Schedule helps, Dave, with the Rangers. I was talking about it earlier when we were in Arlington. Their schedule going to the All-Star break was one that they probably should take advantage of, and they are.
One and one to Milton. Last few games Milton Bradley has played, people have been working him hard on the inside. Pops this one up. First baseman Votto has it. 2 outs here in the 6th. Take a look at the Mariners calendar. It's brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Day off tomorrow. Mariners Care golf outing over at Newcastle. Hope to see you over there. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the Cubbies are in. Back on the road to Milwaukee. They hit a lot of home runs. The Yankees, as we said yesterday, the Yankees are the Yankees. And Detroit, that's a good ball club, too, because you got to deal with Miguel Cabrera. Andrusik starting to throw for the Cincinnati Reds. That one gets away from Corky Miller. Logan Andrusik. If Lopez can get something going with 2 outs, he got a base hit to right his last time up, 1 for 2. Three and one. Fly ball right field. Say Bruce. Mariners are done in the 6th. They're done quickly. 6 complete here at Safeco Field, a 1-0 Mariner lead. Good look at happenings here. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Just looking ahead, we were just talking about the Mariners' schedules. We're looking at a 1-0 lead. Ryan Rowland-Smith about to start the 7th. Mariners back on the road. Milwaukee 6th in average Batting average in the National League, #1 in home runs, #2 in slugging. So Mariner pitching is going to have to be on. And then, of course, Detroit 5th in hitting, 9th in scoring, 4th in slugging. The Yankees are 4th in batting average, 2nd in scoring, 3rd in homers, and 3rd in slugging. So pitching is going to get tested on this road trip.
And speaking of pitching and somebody that wanted to get some work, Brandon League throwing out in the Mariner pen.
Drew Stubbs, Chris Icy, Quirky Miller here for Cincinnati. Brandon League. A lot of bullpen guys. They had a lot of rest these last couple of nights. Here's a pop fly, foul territory. Ichiro almost got it.
Nice job by the fans not getting in the way. Give him a chance to catch it anyways. Take a look at it as he gets over there close to the short wall. Reaches in. Just doesn't quite get there in time.
No food or beverages lost either. Two and one to Stubbs. Popped out to Figgins. Lined out to Ichiro. Well, you can understand why Ryan Nolan-Smith pumped after getting that strikeout to end the 6th inning. A year of frustration for him. And goes 6 complete.
This next pitch will be 100 for Ryan. I'd like to see him get through this inning. He's pitching to the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9.
Lost it. 4th walk. Leadoff man is on here in the 7th for Cincinnati. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Comes Rick Adair for a quick visit.
They'll try to get Ryan back in the strike zone again and give Brandon League an opportunity to get loose out in the pen. He just started throwing. So buying a little bit of time as you see Brandon.
Four days since Brandon League was in a game.
The pitches by inning, had to work in the 2nd, and in the last inning, as Dave was talking about, 24 pitches in the 6th.
So the 2nd time this afternoon, Reds have gotten leadoff batter aboard. Another time was in the 2nd. So Scott Nolan led off with a single. There's a strike to Chris Icy. So one at that one. 1-1. Well, if you had told me coming into this series, the Mariners would hold these guys to 1 run over, what's that, 18, 24 innings. That's a no sale. 2-1. Twice Ryan has gotten out of situations where 2 men on. He's gotten out of it. Three and one with catcher Quirky Miller on deck. Up high, and boy, he has lost his touch. 5th walk, 2nd consecutive. And here comes walk. And not a surprise. Ryan Nolan-Smith get a nice hand here. as he goes 6+, gives up no runs to this point on 3 hits, struck out 2, walked 5. One of his better performances. And I tell you what, he showed some guts here before losing his feel here in the 7th inning. Mariners can get out of this thing. He has a chance to get a victory. Brandon Lee comes on for the first time since Wednesday. One nothing. Top of the 7th. Ryan Roland Smith 6+, 3-hit ball. Let his pitching do his talking here this afternoon.
A nice job today, keeping the ball down as we said, throwing strikes early in counts. Nice breaking ball right there, but I thought his changeup was exceptional today as you see that pitch. So a nice job by Ryan. He'll be frustrated that he came out and walked the 2 hitters here in the 7th inning, but overall 106 pitches for him, just a couple of strikeouts, 5 walks, and just 3 hits. And now Corky Miller probably bunting. Lopez just inside on the grass.
One laid down. Lopez calls off Lee. Dug out by Cart. Sacrifice is executed by Corky Miller. Runners move up.
We've seen Cabrera, leadoff hitter for the Reds now over the years. A lot of times in these situations, he tries to hit the ball the other way.
Cabrera 0 for 4 against Brandon Lee. 1 out runners at 2nd and 3rd. Cabrera 0 for 3 this afternoon. Look out.
97 miles an hour. That'll wake you up.
A little cream with that coffee.
I'll take a look at it. I might open up the outside part of the plate for you.
Late swing, 1-1.
You see the numbers for Brandon Lee. 3.60 ERA, 35 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts. Opponent's average 232.
Lake pitched on Wednesday. Had a 4-pitch strikeout of Matt Holliday to get out of the 8th inning. Two balls, 1 strike. Mariners holding to a 1-0 lead. Gutierrez a 4th inning sacrifice fly, the only tally this afternoon. League's murder, or can be murder on right-handers. Slingshot in, ball running in on your fist. He throws hard.
It's the crossfire, I think, that is effective for League. Tough to get the angles right with him the way he throws. Good pitch.
Did a heck of a job to get a piece of that one.
He did. You can see the location of it right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Quality pitch.
Trying to get the strikeout with it. Cabrera just getting a piece of it.
Ryan Rowland-Smith started this inning with back-to-back walks. Take him out. Miller sacrifices the runners over. Now League trying to get Cabrera. Dirt.
Same pitch.
Mariners in the inning, they scored on a sacrifice fly, a run on 3 hits. They don't have any hits in any other inning. Two to Cabrera. Got him. Bottom fell out of that one. 2 outs.
Well, that's a big time pitch. Only 1 out in the inning and a runner on third. You see the bottom fall out of it again. He went to that pitch after a couple of fastballs, especially the one that was up and in to start Cabrera off. He went right to that pitch. And look at the location of all those pitches down below the strike zone.
Another tough hitter here, Brandon Phillips. Give you an idea how hot he is. Last 20 games hitting .412. Staying with his bread and butter, 1-1. To Phillips. Stubbs and Icy, your runners. Pitch is really something. That's the Mariners had seen it a couple of years ago. That was the #1 swing and miss pitch last season in the American League.
I think the difference for Brandon is that the pitches are all down. That gives you an idea of the type of movement that it has. He thinks that pitch is knee high and it ends up being down out of the strike zone. Along with the plus velocity of 97 miles an hour, getting some really good movement on his fastball in the split.
2-2. Full count. Vertical break, that's huge. Big payoff pitch here to Brandon Phillips from Brandon League. The 3-2. Bouncing ball down to Lopez. Foul ball.
We'll do a split again instead of the fastball. He has first base open.
Joey Votto's on deck. Votto, a left-hand hitter. Love to get a punch out right here and end it. Phillips taking his time, thinking about what he wants to do. Same with League. Here we go, 3-2. Fist. It's number 8. Number 8 coming up. Runners take their leads. 3-2 to Phillips. Got him! Big strikeout. Brandon League. They strand 2. That's 8 stranded this afternoon by the Cincinnati Reds. Brandon League comes in, does the job in the 7th inning. The formula works. 1-0 Mariners. Pitches. Ryan Nolan Smith right now stands to be the winner Mariners can hold on. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 5 walks. Didn't like that number, but the 2 strikeouts and 106 pitches.
Well, 106 pitches, 57 strikes. So his splits weren't good, but the result, the outcome, not giving up a run is what you want to see, and that's what he was able to do through 6+.
Second time he's walked 5. That was the second time. First time he did it April 12th against Oakland. Lost that game 4-0. He went 7 innings in that game. Logan Andrusik takes over on the mound for Cincinnati. There's Andrusik's profile. Goody with the only RBI today. Previous at bat, he flied out to center field. Arthur Rhodes, former Mariner, 2-time Mariner, starting to heat up. He is having a fabulous season. Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. Rolling, 5-time Gold Glove, 7-time Gold Glover, 5-time All-Star. 1 out. We bring up Josh Wilson. Josh done a very good job with Jack Wilson on the shelf. Jack is back today. First pitch from Andrusik. Similar body type to Doug Fister. He's 6'8", 225. Out of Shiner, Texas, and still lives there. 25 years old. Two and 0 to Josh. Base hit to left his last time up.
Josh taking that fastball all the way on a 2-0 count. Mike Carp standing on deck.
Speaking of Doug Fister, 4 innings of work at Tacoma, with Tacoma against Portland. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 48 pitches, 33 strikes. Through the hole, no. Cabrera throws and got him. 2 outs. 2 outs in the Mariners' 7th this Father's Day. Make sure you join Major League Baseball and the Prostate Cancer Foundation to raise awareness for prostate cancer. June 9 through the 20th, each home run hit in 60 selected games raises money to fight prostate cancer as part of the Home Run Challenge. All money raised through the Home Run Challenge goes directly toward prostate cancer research. Log on to MLB.com or PCF.org for more information on how you can help. It's great having Michael Milken and Pete Carroll, Seahawks coach, here a couple of nights ago. Make sure you get tested when you get your annual physical, guys. 0-2 to Mike Carp. Carpet behind 0-2. Struck him out. 1-2-3 go the Mariners, and Andrusik top of his game here in the 7th. 1-0 Mariners. Nice backhand flip by Brandon Lee to retire the dangerous Joey Votto. 1 out here in the 8th. Boy.
Yeah, take another look at it. Nice catch, first of all, and then flips it over to Casey Kochman, who just came into the game for Carp.
Like he's running a triple option at OU. Casey Kochman, defensive replacement, takes over for Mike Carp. He's tied the major league record, 238 consecutive errorless games at first base. Tied with Kevin Youkilis. Gets through the rest of this, he'll have the record to himself. Scott Rowland, strike 1. One good day, 2 for 2. Been hit by a pitch. League is on today. I mean, just electric stuff.
Seeing Roland, you mentioned the 2 for 2, reaching out and pulling the ball. That's what he's normally trying to do, pull everything and keep the ball away from him. Nice pitch again. Guys are gearing up for that 97, and he's throwing a split up there with some tremendous movement. That last pitch out of the strike zone. Take another look at it. Just the bottom falls out of it.
So League has struck out 3. And again, here's what Doug Fister did at Tacoma today. Pitch count, didn't want him to go beyond 50. Good chance he'll start the first or second game at Milwaukee. And we'll be in Milwaukee next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Swing and a miss by Johnny Gomes. League has faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters. Struck out 3. This is number 6. One and 1 to Gomes. We mentioned he's on 97 miles an hour with movement. Ball and 2 strikes. Take a look at the Amica hot zone for Johnny Gomes. Each time the Mariners get a hit. Now through the end of the season, Amica Insurance donates $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Bellevue. Thanks, Amica. 2-2.
We saw on that hit zone 189 down and away, and that's where League has been trying to pitch him.
On deck is Jay Bruce. Three and 2. And on the fist, Lopez. Fair ball. Throws over to Kochman. A 1-2-3-8. Brandon Lee. Great job this afternoon. Mariners hold on to a 1-0 lead. tallies to help out the pitching staff, which has done a great job today. Ryan Nolan-Smith stands to be the winner. Right now, we got Brandon Lee. He's done an outstanding job in innings 7 and 8. David Archman's throwing right now in the bullpen.
And I'm sure that David wouldn't mind seeing another run or two on the board.
Jack in the Box in-game box score. The hits have been few. The sacrifice fly by Gutierrez. 4th inning, the difference. Phillips will field this one. Throw out Alfonso. Mariners have stranded 3 runners today. Cincinnati, 8 runners they've stranded this afternoon. Hey, when you're traveling outside the Northwest this season, take the Mariners with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. You can see every Mariners game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Mariners.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Well, Dusty Baker making a pitching change. It'll be Arthur Rhodes coming in. Back with more after this. .org. The ageless one, Arthur Rhodes, having a spectacular season. He's given up 1 earned run all year. Dusty Baker said he should and has to make the All-Star team. Michael Saunders, his first batter here, 1 out in the 8th. 40 years old, out of Waco, Texas, 2 times here with the Mariners. Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. He was in the game Friday night. Looked like he was ailing for a little bit, but what happened? He caught a spike on one of his follow-throughs and just tweaked his leg a little bit. Dusty Rhodes and the trainer came out, took a look at him. 1-1. You got the savvy 40-year-old veteran against the young kid up there.
Arthur, known for his fastball, decided to throw him a couple of sliders, get back into the count.
Reaches out, hooks it foul. Saunders, 23 years old, against the 40-year-old veteran Arthur Rhodes. Arthur on a pregame show with Rick Riz on the radio side talked about great memories, obviously, here in Seattle, especially the 01 season. So We had a bunch of gamers on that team. To left field for Heisey. 2 outs. This ought to be a fun matchup. Arthur against Ichiro every week. Mariners All Access brings you the latest happenings on the home team with exclusive interviews, player profiles, and memorable highlights you're not going to find anywhere else. So catch an all-new episode tomorrow at 6 p.m. here on FSN and FSN HD. Ichiro has played behind Arthur. He knows what he has. Saw him the other day. This will be a good matchup. Ichiro 1 for 3 career against Arthur Rhodes. Strike 1.
First pitch breaking ball. No surprise. Arthur knows Ichiro's aggressive early in counts.
Arthur, the third pitcher this afternoon for Dusty Baker. That'll get foul. Ichiro 0 for 3 this afternoon. 2 for 4 last night. 0 for 4 on Friday night. Big breaking ball, puts it in play. The shortstop Cabrera hurries, throws, got him. Heck of a play. To the 9th we go. They're going to turn it over to the DA with a 1-0 lead. David Artsman coming on. The Mariners going for the sweep of the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds tomorrow night, a great Northwest rivalry takes center stage when the Tacoma Rainiers, AAA affiliate of the Mariners, they do battle with the Portland Beavers in a hard-hitting Pacific Coast League competition. First pitch starts 7 p.m. FSN and FSN HD. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers here. Happy Father's Day, everybody. David Artsman expecting to be a father for the first time, coming up any day now. And he's going to face here in the Cincinnati order, 9th inning. It'll be Jay Bruce, Drew Stubbs, and Chris Heisey, 6, 7, and 8. Franklin Gutierrez, 4th inning. Sacrifice fly, the only run this afternoon.
And Lance Nix has come out on deck. He will hit for Stubbs. Ball
1 to Bruce. Big tip of the cap to Brandon Lee for his 2-inning performance. He's just fouled off. Count evens at 1-1.
Probably the biggest key to the game so far is what he was able to do going back into the 7th inning when Ryan Rowland-Smith walked the first 2 hitters. Almost sacrificed him over second, third, and right there, that strikeout of Cabrera was huge.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. That's Nix warming up. On deck circle. He'll hit for Drew Stubbs. Here's the 1-2 to Bruce. Got him! Strike 3. 1 out here in the 9th.
Well, Archman goes right at Bruce. This is a high fastball. Throws it by him at 95 miles an hour.
How about Mariner pitching? Holding the Cincinnati Reds, a dynamic offensive force in the National League, held them to 1 run. And just about 3 games. Nix pinch hitting here for Drew Stubbs. Nix is a pinch hitter. 270, 4 for 23. 4 for 23 in his numbers. Two and 0. He's their best pinch hitter. Looks at a strike. 2-1. Archman, quick worker. Good heat. 94, well placed. 2-2.
Everything away from the hitters. All closers do that late in the game when they're protecting a lead. They'll let you hit the ball the other way, but for the most part, they're going to pitch all the hitters away.
Archman, pride of Denver, Colorado. 2-2. Got him! Struck him out. 2 down here in the 9th inning.
And Archman being very aggressive, like he always just pulls this one back across the plate. Nixon swings over the top of it. See Alfonso reaching back, trying to backhand the ball and drops it so he gets the tag.
The Reds down to their last out. It's Chris Heisey, left fielder. Strike 1.
And Ramon Hernandez will come out. He will pitch for Corky, or pinch hit for Corky Miller.
Popped up, playable, coming on, Kotzman, he's there, game over, case closed by the DA. The Mariners win it 1-0. They sweep the Cincinnati Reds and hold the Reds to 1 run over 3 games. Ryan Rowland-Smith picks up his first victory since October 3rd of last year. And Archman, another save. He's 15 out of 19.
And you saw Mike Sweeney giving Casey Kotzman a hug. He'll set the record for consecutive games without an error. But the key, again, is the pitching. And today, what a job by the bullpen. Brandon Lee, David Archman come in and just slammed the door on the Reds. They had to do some fancy pitching. At least League did. Was able to get out of that 7th inning. And Ryan Rowland-Smith, congratulations to him getting his first win of the year.
Boy, that is outstanding. Last time the Mariners took a series, swept a series, a 2-gamer against Detroit late May. Last time they took a 3-game series was mid-April against Baltimore. And the last time they won 4 games in a row. This is the 4th game in a row here this week. That was back in April when they took 2 from Oakland and 2 from Detroit. So a tremendous run here of fabulous pitching by the Mariners. Now, although no home runs were hit in this game, $1.8 million have been raised so far during the Home Run Challenge. Make your pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online at www.pcf.org. Great game, terrific win. And we check in now with Jen Mueller with Sean Figgins, who scored the only run.
Well, and a little bit of a nail-biter because there was only that one run scored by Sean Figgins. But first of all, how good does it feel to get the sweep against the Reds?
Well, I mean, like I said before, we've been playing a lot of tough teams that are in first place or in second place. And to come out here and beat a team like that is pretty good to say what we've been going through lately.
Now, you've talked about being more aggressive at the plate. Has that been the difference? We've seen you a little bit on base more, seen those hits coming, because I know that you've always spent a lot of time in the cages.
Yeah, you know, I'm still seeing my pitches, but I think my mindset is attack first and be aggressive, because that's the way my game is built around being aggressive.
One more question about your good friend Casey Kotzman, who now holds the record for most consecutive games at first base without an error. We didn't talk about it because we didn't want to jinx it, so now what are you going to go and tell him?
You know, that's of all time. And like I said, I hope these guys realize that what they're part of. I hope he realizes what greatness he has become because of that. And that's going to be in the Hall of Fame forever.
Well, all right, go tell him what greatness he has become. Thanks so much for your time, Sean. Guys, now we can talk about it because I don't have to worry about jinxing that streak that Kotzman was on.
That's right, like a no-hitter or a perfect game, Jen. Thank you. As Casey Kotzman, 239 consecutive games without an error, a late-inning defensive replacement sets the record tonight. But, man, you go think about not just the Mariners, but you think about a series pitch like this, 3 straight from your starting pitches, 3 straight turns. You had to go back. I can't even think of one off the top of my head.
Especially against a team that's leading its league in every offensive category to hold a 1 run, no homers in 3 games, 27 innings. That's pretty impressive.
Clean sweep by the Mariners, a 4-game win streak. A day off tomorrow. In come the Chicago Cubs. We'll hear from Walk. Hopefully Ryan Rowland-Smith. Congrats to the Aussie. Picks up his first win. And we've also got a wedding to tell you about out here in the bullpen. It's all coming up on Mariners Live on FSN.
And he got him on a breaking ball.